And today on the bench we're going to have a inoperable amateur radio receiver. Let me get this thing lifted up here on the bench because it's a heavy one. Well, that was heavy. Probably one of the smallest amateur radio receivers or communication. It's not just amateur radio, it's a communications receiver. But this is an IC-R10 or Icom IC-R10. Customer's note, it will not power up. Was in storage for years, had old batteries in it, they leaked a little, I cleaned it up with no success. So, yep, just a little small walkie-talkie style, but this, like I say, is a communications receiver. Looks like he did scratch out what he could get out as far as battery corrosion goes, but you can see all around the terminals there's still lots of, yeah, doesn't look good. There's a piece of plastic, or well, actually that's rubber. Piece of rubber from somewhere. But yeah, it's seen better days. So let me get this thing popped apart. I get the feeling that's probably all that's wrong with this. I'm hoping that the corrosion didn't progress so far into the case that it got down on the circuit board, but we'll see. Doesn't look too hard to get apart here. Got a bunch of 4 screws in the battery compartment. There's what, 1, 2, 3 screws on the outside, it looks like. Can't say I feel any underneath of the label there, so I may have to pop the knobs off. If it's anything like a two-way walkie-talkie, usually you have to pull the knobs off to get the board up and out, but we'll see. So let me get her cracked open here. Okay, if I get my Yoga Mojo going here, trying to get all my fingers wrapped around here, because this just has, for the contacts for the battery, just comes through to 2 spring contacts that go down to these 2 pads down on the main board down here. And it is alive. I got a camera is right in my face. I don't even know if I'll be able to do this, but I had sound and light. Because I got to get my thumb down here to the blasted power switch. I can't see anything. Okay. So it's alive. So yep, I'm going to say just corrosion. Now I think what I'm going to do with this one, because the design of these contacts, it looks like they were pushed down through and then folded over, and I'm afraid if I try to bend these up to get the contacts out, what's going to happen is I'm going to end up breaking those off. So I'll just pull the flat flex cable out here. I'll remove this circuit board. Basically strip this entire plastic housing, so the only thing that's going to be left in it are these sets of battery contacts, and then I'll just pour some, just in case you're not familiar, if you haven't watched it, because I actually did a video on how to clean battery corrosion out. Just household white vinegar, that's really all you need. Does an excellent job at removing corrosion like this. And I, Jesus, like a frog jumped into my throat. I think the problem is this corrosion down here. It was probably making contact in the battery compartment after he cleaned all that grunge out, but just enough of it creeped down the contact arm, and then it only contacts basically on a knife edge right there. And once it oxidized or ate through the gold plating on here, it just wasn't making contact anymore. As soon as this got a little bit of corrosion on it, that was probably game over right there. Luckily it doesn't look like it's progressed any farther down here. I'm still probably going to take this board out. There's not much to it, it's just a keypad and processor board here, a couple screws, because you can see there's all kinds of white crust down in here. I don't want to leave any of this stuff inside the radio, so I'll just go ahead and pull this board out of this half also. I need to clean that off really good, but then the main thing is I want to get all this other stuff out of here. I don't want all this gunk landing on parts, and then years down the road it ends up eating through other stuff. So it looks like should just be a cleaning job, and should be back up and running probably. Okay, okay, so I've got the back half completely dismantled now. The only thing left in here are the, well, there are 2 screws here for the belt clip, but are the battery terminals now. It's actually 2 circuit boards. Once I got this one unscrewed, realized that, oh, that's actually the controls aren't screwed to that, or soldered to this. There's another circuit board under there. So it's a really densely packed little radio. There's the interface connector right there that connects the 2 boards together. Now, one thing I did notice was, what's wrong with that electrolytic capacitor right there? It would appear to not be soldered to the board. As much solder is under that thing, it looks like it's been up. I mean, it was soldered. You can see there's a big blob compared to the other ones. So yeah, I don't know how long that thing's been desoldered, but yeah, I'll tack that back down before I reinstall the board. So all we're going to do to clean this corrosion off is get something to prevent making a mess. Take my little bottle here. It's my little chemical bottle, and there's nothing in here but distilled white vinegar, household vinegar. And let's actually zoom the camera in because we should get some good fizzing action out of this. I don't want to spray it all over in here. And I can even hear it. Now what you're going to want to do if you ever have something like this, especially something where contacts are trapped and you really can't get them out, like I say, my fear is if I try to get these 2 out, I got to bend those tabs over, they're going to break off. So what you're going to want to do is actually, because you've got an alkali down there and your acid is your vinegar, very mild acid, so they're neutralizing each other. But the problem is the vinegar is going to become non-acidic as it's being basically used up down here. So occasionally you're going to want to squirt some more in there. And since this has had the corrosion has actually seeped down in between the plastic and the metal here, you're going to want to rinse this off and then spray it down again to make sure that you really get all this stuff cleaned out of here really good. But yeah, I think that's probably about all this thing really needs. Just needs a good cleaning. Like I say, I think the main problem was the oh, there's some good fizz in there. Was the contact down on the circuit, on the main circuit board. I think that was where most of the problem was. So yeah, we're just bubbling away down there. So anyhow, let me get, like I say, I'll do this a couple times. I want to be really thorough, make sure I get all of this stuff out of here. So there's absolutely no chance that this corrosion's ever going to come back to haunt him in the future. Because I kind of get the feeling this customer, he kind of got out of radio for a while, because he's actually been sending me quite a few, and he's kind of rediscovered it, so you know, he's getting all of his radios out. And unfortunately, and this just goes to show, always take the batteries out. Never, ever, ever store anything with batteries in it. It is the easiest way to destroy something electronic, is to put it away with batteries in it. So let me go rinse this off with some distilled water. I'll let it dry off, and then I'll resaturate it with vinegar. And a couple times of that, I'll just get in there with a paintbrush. Now you don't need to, the nice thing when you're using vinegar like this is, you don't need to worry about scraping off all the crusty stuff and whatnot. It's just gone. Anything down there, all the stuff that leaked out of the battery will be dissolved. It's all down there now, mixed in with that liquid. Now, there may be some corrosion. The actual copper, like you see here on the plating that they put on the plastic here for RF shielding, is a little bit green. The metal contacts themselves actually look really good in this. I can't say, they may even be stainless, because, man, there's just no signs of corrosion on those contacts whatsoever. They almost have to be stainless steel. Man, it's still bubbling down there. And that's why, too far. That's why if we come back into focus, that's why you want to clean it off and redo this a couple times, because like I say, that corrosion has really gotten down and around that plastic, so you want to make sure You continue to clean off, add the vinegar or your acid several times until you do not see that anymore. When you stop seeing little bubbles being formed, then the acid's been neutralized. Until then, just keep putting it on. It may take a while. Normally you just spray it on once and it'd be fine. Like I said, I just don't... Actually, these two contacts I can take out. These, yeah, they don't come out the back side. So actually these two I can pry out. Yeah, those I should be able to get out of here. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, they got a pinch point right there. I'm gonna have to try and get. I can't do this with the camera in front of me. Let me see if I can get those out. If not, it's still same thing. I'm just going to keep applying vinegar until I stop seeing the bubbling action down there. But yep. And then I'll get the front half of the radio torn apart. Like I say, mainly that's just to get any remnants of the crusty stuff that had fallen into the front part there. I want to make sure I get all of that out. I can put this all back together, resolder that one electrolytic capacitor there back down to the board, because Lord knows how long that thing's been disconnected in that radio, and get her put back together and see how she works. Okay, so you can see she's on and working now. Let's see, I got it in VFO mode, put her in scan mode. So it's in memory channels now, and these are all the channels I guess the customer had programmed into it. It's going, yeah, turn the squelch up a little bit. So it goes into scan. He had a bunch of 6 meter and 2 meter stuff programmed into it from the looks of it. So, and I'm not going to go changing any of the settings. Go changing all his memory channels. But yep, so that's all it was. Just like I say, I believe it was just the spring contacts, the one that had slightly corroded on the contact. Just trying to come in there, maybe. This may be a birdie. But anyhow, so yep, battery corrosion strikes again. So key to remember here: if you have anything that runs on batteries, take the batteries out before you put it away. And if you use rechargeable batteries, even it's a good idea to check those every once in a while, because if you're using alkalines and you're using the radio, they're going to die on you all the time. You're always going to be putting fresh ones in, so they're probably never going to leak. But like in the case of this, currently I have a set of my batteries in here. These are the Inaloop rechargeable batteries, nickel metal hydrides. If you have batteries in there like that, and you charge the batteries in the radio, because this has the capability right there, DC. You plug in a DC cord there, and there's actually a switch. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Where in the heck was it? It's somewhere in here. I think that's it. Does that say? Yeah, charge. Charge is currently turned off, but you flip that on, put a set of nickel cadmium batteries in here, then you can actually charge the batteries in the radio. You would never be taking this battery cover off. So battery corrosion could be happening inside your radio and you'd never know it. So if you use a radio, knob fell off. What's up with that? It seems to hold okay. I didn't have it pushed on the whole way. Yeah, I guess I didn't have it on the whole way. The key here is if you're using rechargeable batteries and you charge those batteries in the device, doesn't need to be a radio, anything, you should occasionally at least pop the battery cover open just to inspect the batteries, because they'll corrode just like alkalines. Doesn't matter if they're nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, what type you have in there, they will eventually leak. So you want to be occasionally popping the battery compartment open to make sure that they're not leaking and destroying your radio. I think the saving grace for this one was those battery contacts in this thing, they are stainless. I actually checked them. They're non-magnetic. You scrape at them, scrape at them with like a screwdriver. There is no base metal. It's not a plating on there. They're actually stainless steel. I think that was a brilliant move by Icom to do that, because that's the one thing that kills most battery-powered devices, honestly. Eventually, it gets put away, batteries are in it, destroys the battery compartment, and it's doomed. So good on Icom for going the extra mile and putting stainless steel battery contacts in it. So there we go, really quick and simple repair on an Icom IC-R10 communications receiver.